What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Global Lab patch notes reading for June 5th. So, apparently this week has been a little bit different. These notes came out yesterday. Today is June 6th. I thought it comes out on Friday, but, apparently today was one day earlier. So anyway, these are notes from the Global Lab server. So if you want to read it, I'll leave a link in the description. It's translated from Korean to English, and usually the stuff that they mention here comes out into the live server the following week. So yeah, it's always good to check up on what's new. So with that said, let's see what's changing, what's being added. Dosa. Admittedly, I don't know Dosa well enough to know if any of these are actually good or not, but it doesn't seem like there's much to talk about today with that one. So the attack range where the maximum hit can be applied when using the skill has been increased by 70% compared to before. Attack range is always good, I guess. However, the range and maximum range are the same as before. What? Okay. Other classes, we got Ranger. I think this is either Kuno or Meiwa. I think one of those. Oh, Snowflakes. Never mind. That's Meiwa. Valkyrie, Witch and Wizard issues or pet thingies. Lon, Dosa. All right, so life skillers, we got some changes. Improved mole occurrence during cultivation. So farmers, basically, the moles that pop out when you're harvesting. Apparently, the rate is going to be higher now, which I think is good. Those pink petal thingies that you get 10 of them, and then you get one of those pets? I'm not sure if that's once per family. So if you've gotten 10 already, then it's, I guess, a little bit less relevant. They always still give more leaves that you turn in for the other materials, so the byproducts. But basically, these just give more materials and the drop rate's getting higher. Cool. I don't think that's really affecting anyone's economy with anything, but it's just nice to have for all the people who do farming on a regular and actually do 10 by 10 plots and crops. So that's good. Improve capture or horse capture, manipulation, and effects. So I have this thing. Admittedly, horse training is my weakest life skill just because I don't do it as much. But sometimes when you throw the rope and then you're moving towards the horse, right? Sometimes your character gets stuck and you have to maneuver in weird ways. Is that normal? Because I'm not really too sure about that one. But that's kind of off topic. So improve the ability to approach a horse more quickly by pressing shift and moving forward while using the capture rope, or the new one that they added 2 weeks ago, which is the infinite rope. So now you can sprint to the horse faster. It doesn't really matter if you still get stuck, like the issue I have. And then they improved the capture rope and usage status to remain active when falling from a certain height. I've noticed that issue too. Let's say a horse is over here, but you're standing on the top of the hill or something, which is usually where the horses are, and it's never a flat platform. Sometimes it just fails. So I think that's good, assuming that works. Added an effect when using the Heavenly Shining Rope. I think it's different on the English translation. So I made a video of it, what it's called, how to get it. But I'm pretty sure it's a different name. But either way, infinite rope. So yeah, quality of life changes, always good. So this one is, how Dimtree requires more Caphras Stones to get to Caphras 10 and so on than Red Nose. And so when you're going for Fallen God, everyone chooses the Red Nose just because it's cheaper. So apparently 7 years later, they're finally tweaking this to make it roughly the same, I believe. So, and they're telling you why. The fact that they're doing this so many years later is actually a sign that they have no idea what's going on in the game. It's like, this is such a weird change that like wasn't even an issue. Well, it was an issue, but it's not like something that was hard to do. Be like, players should have all the 4 fallen gods by this point, or like end game players, mid to end game players should have it, right? And then the fact that it's just like something that they are just now fixing is actually insane. But either way, let's read about it. Dim Tree armor used to need more Caphras Stones than Red Nose, because back when these were top tier gear, Dim Tree armor offered slightly better stats. That is true. So Dim Tree armor gives you plus 200 HP to your pool, whereas Red Nose gives HP recovery. So back in the day, when people didn't have like 350 AP and 200 HP was actually a lot better, people would always choose that one. So yeah, that is true. But nowadays in 2025, some people don't even really know what the difference is, which I understand. But since, this should have been addressed when the first Fallen God armor came out, not years after the 4th one, which is Atoraxxion, at least on PC. So they've also adjusted the Dandelion Awakening weapon, so now it needs the same number of Caphras Stones as other boss weapons. Once again, a little bit outdated, but I don't even think that most players even need Dandelion in general, considering new players skip that entire process with Black Stars. Here's how you do it. Get to level 61, you get a free pen Black Star. When you get to level 61, you also get a free Tet Black Star. Do your Tuvala gear in exchange, or get it to deck and exchange it for your 3rd pen Black Star or 2nd and a half. But even then, at pen Tuvala, that is literally the equivalent of a Tet Dandelion. So, like, by the time you're going for Black Star, this Dandelion, a weapon, is irrelevant. So, it is what it is. So anyway, these are what it was before and after, from Tri-Tet Pen to... Was it really? Dude, really? 24,000? For 1 to 20 at Pen? That's a weird number. I don't think so. Because I used to have a Pen C19 Dandy, and I've had a 20 armor. I don't remember it being 24,000. Unless they're calculating the cost of like this and this one combined. I just don't think it's 24,000. It was definitely over 10,000. Yeah, I just don't remember that one. Unless they're adding like Tet and Tri equivalents of that too. But either way, it's a good change. You should still probably use whichever one. Like in 2025, current day BDO, chances are you're not going to be sticking with a Dim Tree or a Red Nose for that long. Going into Fallen God, you could just buy it directly, skip the entire Caphras process, which I think is a good thing. What is this? Yeah, these numbers past 10 are irrelevant. If you're doing the self-exchange yourself, all you need to do is get it to 10 for Caphras. So there's no reason to go from 11 to 20. Same with weapons or dandelions these days. So yeah, I'm glad they're changing it to make it, normal, but realistically, these are irrelevant weapons and outdated nowadays. So it is what it is. All right, they're adjusting the market price for some items and materials for enhancing and or crafting. Black crystal for life skill upgrades. So these are important. From 15 to 20 mil. That's good. Leather from 40 to 50. High quality. This leads me to believe they're coming out with newer items in the game for like, you know, self-crafting and or like different kinds of armors, like maybe newer Krogdalo gear or literally anything else, which I think is good. Immortal elixirs are literally getting doubled in price. So for all of you who kept your, what are those, the things that, the pink potions to turn it into immortal, these are literally getting like doubled. So yeah, that's good. Do I think immortal perfumes are worth 300 mil? No. Straight up. They're not. For 20, unless these are like 1 hour and they make it like, you know how regular elixirs of these, for example, you combine them with the mysterious potion, and then you could do like 2 of them. That would be normally 15 minutes times like 2 or 4 or whatever, and then it would make it like an hour-long elixir. Immortal ones and perfumes do not work like that unless they're making some sort of change. So if these were hour-long perfumes and they were immortal, I think that would be worth the 300. Even then, maybe that's still on the higher side, but like for 20 minutes of immortal, it's not worth it. I don't even know why people buy them. Like, just pop a second one for significantly cheaper, unless you're like dying over and over, and then in that case you play differently. Like, that really is it. I don't think these are worth 300 mil. The Heart of Honest Lala. This is the Raw's heart that you get for hunting that improves the like you get an extra round in your hunting rifle or sniper rifle from 1.5 to 2 billion. This is weird because I've seen it sitting on the market before, so it's like apparently it's not like as high of a demand as I thought it would be. But like, you would think this would be at least like 5 billion or something, which is surprising. I guess at least here on the NA server, not as many people do hunting, even though I think hunting is a very strong life skill and it makes a lot of silver, but you have to be, it's one of those things where you have to be good at it, where unlike you just AFK fish all day. So this is like an active life skill. But I would still think it's more than 2 billion. But admittedly, I don't really look at the heart market that much, so maybe that's normal, but maybe I'll just keep that in mind in the future. All right, mass processing for recipes. You can now, instead of doing it 1 at a time, you can make 10 at a time. I still wonder why this took like 8 years to do when this should have been, you know, introduced a long time ago. Apparently the devs like spending more time doing nothing than actually speeding up the process in this game. So I'm glad it's being added. I'm just shocked that it's taking so long. PC Room Full Moon Box. This has to have a different name because I am not sure what this is. Condensed black magic stones and sharp fragments. Dude, what is this? We're gonna have to see this on the live server because I'm like, I don't know the picture of this, nor do I know what item this is either. This is probably something different. Mass processing for those daily scrolls that you get in for this 1 hour to 150, or 50% to 150. Now that you can mass process them. You still need 3 of them, right? Okay. Yeah, so I assume these are still like the same combination. Like, you still need 3 of them to make the 150. You just need a blackstone powder to mass process them. Same with the mercenary experience scrolls that you get from daily logins. You can now multi-craft these 10 at a time. That's cool. I actually thought you could always do this. I thought I've made 10 at a time. Unless these are for event ones. But I always thought you can multi-craft them, but admittedly, ever since Harmonies came out, I stopped using these, so there's that. Either way, good change. Who knows why it took so long for them to do it. All right. These thingies from grinding Jade Starlight Forest or Mountain of Eternal Winter places, you can multi-craft, or yeah, these are used for multi-crafting as well. This is a funny one because let's just read it. The description has now been improved so that after completing the quest, you get 10 of them and you exchange it for a Garmoth's Heart. You can now exchange these for 20 scales. They're Garmoth scales. You guys are getting 10 of them because it's been like maybe, I don't know, these are introduced maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, right? I have 5 of them. And I go to Garmoth 3 times a week, every week. So if you guys have 10 of them, consider yourself carried. If not, well, on to another multiple years. So I'm glad there's a use for it for all the people who have this quest done, but I assume that like 90% of you guys do not have this quest done. It's just an RNG thing. It is what it is. The following items have been improved to allow storage in the family bag. Book of Life and XP. And the book cannot be stored in the family bag while they are sealed. And you can move them once they expire. I think that's good, actually. I've had a lot of times where I'm like, oh, I should bring this to another character to pop the buff, and I just forget about it. So now that you can put it in your family inventory, I think that's good. For all of you who are free-to-play players and don't have enough room, it's not a big deal. It's just one of those convenience things. All right, since the update allows players to fight each biome boss, or I guess, the final boss in each Atoraxxion dungeon, to help skilled players tackle Atoraxxion boss more smoothly, we installed a Power Stone. Won't be affected by debuffs. What in the world? Wait, hold on. I'm trying to understand what this means. So in the second boss, there's a Power Stone. You raise the boss difficulty from 1 to 4. Based on whatever mechanics people are doing, you could lower the damage output from, like, let's say 4 means more damage. Like, you do more damage to the boss, but you also take more damage. So usually when people see the one-shot mechanic coming up, you lower it to 1 so you don't die. And then when, like, normal phases are happening, or mechanics, people turn it to 3 or 4. So I'm like, what am I trying to look at here? Installing the Power Stone won't be affected by debuffs. I see. Admittedly, the group that I run with, we don't have a problem with that, but I can see for newer players, the second one, Atoraxxion, is probably the hardest of the 4, admittedly. Besides the 4th one on hard mode, that's meant for endgame players. But in terms of like boss mechanic difficulty, Atoraxxion is definitely the one that I've had the most trouble with back in the day when I wasn't as geared. So I assume that like if you're running over a pad with super armor, it doesn't work, but now it does. This is how I understand it, but I don't know. I'll just have to run through it again. Okay, the appearance speed of the Dark Rift boss has been increased again, allowing you to enter the battle more quickly from before. Yeah, I've had this issue where usually you go up to the spot where the Rift boss spawns. Sometimes it takes like 5 seconds, sometimes it's instant, sometimes the boss doesn't spawn for like 30 seconds. I think the one that I noticed is the Griffin boss. Sometimes I literally just stand there. Everything else spawns like normal time. Is it a big deal? No. Is it kind of annoying? Yeah, that's about it. So I'm glad that they addressed that. But the realistic one that I've had the most issue with the Griffin. During the fight, the invincibility pattern that prevented them from being hit has been removed. The ones I've noticed the most annoying is Farid and Dimtree. Muskin has a second phase if you push it under 50 too fast, but like realistically, I thought that was just intended, but apparently people were annoyed enough that they can't melt the boss in 2 seconds instead of 3 is annoying. So, I mean, I think this is a good change, absolutely, but it's one of those things that I was just like, okay. So I'm glad this is being changed. The most annoying one being Farid and Dimtree Spirit for me. Knowledge. Oh yeah, this quest that's like, now that you're level 50, PvP is turned on, even though it doesn't really mean it. Like, I swear this quest like scares new players more than it actually means anything. So, sure, more intuitive. Node and Conquest War. Cannons durability reduced. Damage from flame towers increased. Siege defense durability. I think these are actually good. So, in my opinion, wars should be fought based on player skill. Obviously, like the what cannons, the ballistas, watches, and everything, they should be more for support more than people sitting in the cannon the entire fight. I think maybe this is just me, but I just think skill should be a factor more than, you know, everything. If you're on the defending side, let's say you're a castle owner, this is where I think it's more important because you usually sit in the castle more than like the offensive team trying to get into it. But, you know, I still think defense has more advantages because you have castle defense and you know where everyone is placed. Whereas if you're on the outside, you have to break in and then go in, whereas there's more strategy involved. So I think it should still be player skill over cannons one-shotting, or it doesn't, cannons don't even one-shot, but like, I still think player class abilities should make more of the difference between winning and losing a war than flame towers and cannons and all that stuff. Maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe that's a hot take, but, you know, I always thought, like, there's a reason why everyone is gearing up, and, you know, like, what's the point of having all this gear if you're losing to a flame tower? Like, I don't understand. So maybe that's just me. That's, like, I think this is a good change. I think they should still be in the game, because they should be, like, you know, like, simulating an actual fight. You know, you would use all the stuff. But we all know when there's a war, there's always that one person that wants to sit in the cannon for the entire war. It's an easy job. Most people don't even know how to fire Hawachas normally, so I've seen people shoot at cannons. It's like, here's the target. Here's the person shooting the Hawacha, and they just straight never hit the target. So it is what it is. Maybe I think it's a good change. So, all right. The arrows in the dice. So Black Spirit Adventure has been improved to be more visible. You see this arrow right here? I thought it was obvious before, but I guess they're making it more obvious. That's a good change. All right, fixes and changes. RBF, fixed an issue where the capture gauge would reset when another team attempted to recapture in the city of Valencia but failed. Another day, another week of me asking for... I really like the objective mode in Valencia. So, you know, it's like hardpoint capture. It's not really capture the flag, but, you know, if you've ever played like Call of Duty or any shooter game, it's kind of like hardpoint or control. And I wish they would add that mode to the Castle Ruins one. I think that would be a lot more fun. People aren't always camping on the top of the roofs. And, you know, I actually thought that Garmoth map would be cool because it's just flat ground. You know how they can improve that? Literally remove the buffs. But then again, I haven't played that map in like 3 years. But I did like the idea of flat ground. There's no buildings and everything. So yeah, maybe add an objective mode with no like walls. Add the same game mode to the 2 other existing maps. And then we'll see how the player base reacts to it. I think that would be good, right? Like, just more variety. And then I know RBF is already limited. Like, one RBF may or may not even fill these days, but I think they should... I don't know. Do you think a gear capped RBF would be good? Because right now it's just literally meta classes and the people who are Giga geared just rolling the other players. So I don't know. I think more variety is always good, regardless of if capped or an uncapped year. The phenomenon where fishing ground resources in various spots are always marked as depleted has been correct. Admittedly, I haven't really fished in Morning Light that much, but I guess that's a good thing. The text description for Training Promotion Apprentice 10 has been improved. That's cool. All you have to do is talk to the NPCs and then catch horses every now and then, and you do the quest. I don't really know what the problem was, but people are struggling on it, and it's better now. That's good. Black Temple during the fight, during the campaign, awkward positioning. If you're having problems with the story and the boss on here, I don't know what to tell you, but apparently they're fixing something. Phenomenon where you can enter the Black Temple while boss or con defeat location has been fixed. And can you no longer do that, or can you do that now? I don't know. I don't think anyone... This has to be like a 1% issue. Like 5 people figured this out for some reason and reported it. And then Prolibus was like, all right, we're going to fix this issue that only like 5 people had, instead of, you know, the grand picture of the game. Added shortcuts. Fixed issues where ping location in Solaire would only work with shift even if the shortcut was changed to caps lock. Once again, probably a thing that, you know, 10 people had, but I think this is probably a bigger issue than being able to go into the Black Temple while con is active. Is probably a bigger thing. Fix the issue where the number of completed quests would be displayed as zeros when changing characters and moving servers. The game exit window has been fixed. Probably 3 people found this issue and was like, oh my god, it's a problem. And then they fixed it. Cool. All right. And then everything else, whatever. Anyway, that's all the patch notes for this week. And I think overall it's just quality of life, market improvements, mass processing is always good. And that's about it. Nothing really too bad or good to say about this. It's just like some of these should have been added 6 years ago, but it is what it is. So I think it's overall a positive change. Nothing really to say about it. Like, maybe the working on balance patches in the future, but until then, this is okay. Anyway, once again, thanks so much for watching. If you want to read these for yourself, just know it's translated from Korean to English. I'll leave a link in the description as always, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace!